CNN's food section recently published an article listing out America's 20 best dishes, and let me tell you, it is something else. Hello friends, this is No B. Today we are going to be talking about that very list. Why? Because I'm American, and I like food. And I might have a bone to pick or two with what CNN put on this list. This list will be presented in the order in which it appeared in the CNN article. These dishes are not necessarily ranked. Let me know in the comments how you would rank them, or if you think anything that should have been on the list was left off. Either way, let's dive in, but first I'll let you know that I will put a link to the article in the description of this video. Here we go. Barbecue. So right off the bat, we have one of those bones I mentioned before that I want to pick. I mean, come on CNN, this is just lazy. Now don't get me wrong, I love me some barbecue. I mean, I am an equal opportunity consumer of the stuff. But if we are being honest, barbecue is not a dish. Full stop. It is a way of cooking. A way of cooking, mind you, that has been around for thousands of years. Therefore, it's not even really American. That's not to say that we haven't made barbecue a very important part of American culture. It is ingrained into some of the regions of our country, whether we're talking St. Louis style spare ribs, Carolina pulled pork, and of course Texas brisket. So while barbecue is definitely not a dish, it is definitely good and deserves recognition. Fried okra. I will give CNN credit where it's due. Fried okra is a dish. I will say I'm a little surprised that it ended up on a top anything list. I like fried okra. I guess I'm just surprised that so many other people do as well. Fried okra does have a consistency issue that I know bothers certain parts of society. It's fried, so you start off with a delicious crunchy breaded outside, which everyone loves. Inside, however, the actual okra strikes some as slimy. In addition, the fruit of the plant is full of seeds, which can also be off-putting to some people. I don't think I'm doing a very good job of convincing you that okra is good or that it belongs on this list. So let's just say this, give it a shot. If you like it, you're welcome. If you don't, what are you doing taking advice from a faceless YouTube channel? You only have yourself to blame. Cobb salad. The Cobb salad was first served at a restaurant called Hollywood Brown Derby in the late 1930s. It is named after the restaurant's owner, Robert Howard Cobb. The creation of the Cobb salad, according to the owner's point of view, is as follows. Cobb was hungry late one night and found leftovers in the kitchen, including lettuce, tomatoes, avocado, bacon, and celery. He tossed the ingredients together and shared it with his friend Sid Grauman, who loved it and requested it again the next day. Rinse and repeat. What started as a late-night mindless mixture of random stuff is now the backbone of multiple nearly identical fast-service salad chains. America, where even mindlessness can be incorporated. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's peanut butter jelly time. I apologize. If I wasn't so lazy and using a clone of my voice to read off the script, you would have heard me sing those lyrics. But alas and alack. You all know that this one had to be on the list, right? I mean, peanut butter be good, especially crunchy. Jelly be good. Although I am partial to jams and preserves, if I'm really being honest, I've been on kind of an orange marmalade kick recently, but that's really showing my middle-agedness, so let's move on. This one is on the list, and it should be. Fry bread. Some of y'all might be out there asking, what the heck is fry bread? That's a legit question. If you've ever found yourself at a powwow and ate a taco, chances are it was served on fry bread. For those of you who have not had the ability to eat a taco at a powwow, the easiest comparison I can think of is like a chalupa from Taco Bell. Yes, a chalupa shell is the Walmart version of fry bread. Fry bread recipes are simple. Fry bread is made with flour, salt, baking powder, and sometimes sugar, and it's cooked in lard. That's right, folks, cooked in lard. Belongs on this list for sure. Red beans and rice. Red beans and rice did miss her. Sorry. There I go again with the song lyrics not translating due to the voiceover. I like red beans and rice. I like black beans and rice even more. That's probably because when I was in college, I had a roommate that would often make black beans and rice, fried eggs with jerk seasoning on them, and when he made this meal, he always made enough for me as well. It was my first introduction to West Indies Creole cuisine. I liked it then, and I like it now. I have no problem with this dish being on the list. Hamburger. You just knew this one was going to be on the list. Can anyone really argue the fact that it's here? I live in the upper Midwest. Around these parts, we have a version of the hamburger called the Juicy Lucy. For those not familiar, the Juicy Lucy is a hamburger patty with the cheese inside. Yep, there's a pocket of cheese inside the hamburger patty. The invention of the Juicy Lucy is claimed by two separate bars on the same street within 2 miles of each other in South Minneapolis. The bars are the 5-8 Club and Matt's Bar. Shirts worn by the staff at the 5-8 Club have the motto, "If it's spelled right, it's done right." Advertising at Matt's Bar states, "Remember, if it's spelled correctly, you are eating a shameless rip off." Ouch. That round goes to Matt's Bar. Apple pie. What can be more American than apple pie? Maybe if the apple pie is sitting in a windowsill on a gingham towel to cool. And don't forget the cartoon wolf trying to steal that pie only to be hit on the head by a well-endowed woman with the rolling pin. In World War II, U.S. soldiers often said they were fighting for mom and apple pie. Its place on a list like this was guaranteed from that day forward. Poke. Poke is deconstructed sushi that has been dumped in a bowl. Our Hawaii brothers and sisters brought this concoction to the party. If you like it, you love it. I personally like it. My wife, not so much. Chili. There is an ongoing argument about chili. The argument is whether chili should have beans or not. I'm fine either way. More concerning to me is the disgusting trend I have seen up here in the upper Midwest, where people put macaroni in their chili. And I don't mean leftover chili that you are trying to stretch into another meal. I'm talking about the point of creation they are putting in macaroni. That is not chili, that is chili mac. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Clam chowder. This soup is totally American, but in reality, it is older than America itself. There are indications that this stew has been enjoyed along the eastern seaboard back into the 1700s. There are many different regional varieties. The most common is New England style chowder. It is commonly made with milk, butter, potatoes, salt pork, onion, and clams. This is the one you want. Manhattan clam chowder is known to be red due to the tomato-based broth it uses. Might be as bad as macaroni and chili. In General Tso's chicken. Like the Juicy Lucy, this dish is claimed by two people, Chinese chefs Peng Chang-Kuei and T.T. Wang, each claim to have invented General Tso's chicken in the early 1970s. Both had their restaurants in New York City. There are no snarky mottos on opposing t-shirts, so I'm a little bored by the specifics. Besides, I probably prefer this dish's close cousin, orange chicken, as long as it has a sufficient spice level to it. Reuben sandwich. I don't like rye bread. I don't like sauerkraut. So how is it that I like a Reuben? Maybe corned beef is just so good it makes up for the sins of the other ingredients. The sandwich apparently was created at the Blackstone Hotel in Omaha, Nebraska around 1930. A man named Ruben Kulikovsky asked for a sandwich with corned beef and sauerkraut during his weekly poker game at the hotel. The kitchen added the Swiss cheese, Thousand Island dressing, and placed it all on rye bread. Considering we are eating it today, I guess that means their gamble paid off. Gamble? Poker game? Ha! I'll be here all week, folks. Grits, American? Sure, but this one is a nope for me. Before moving on, let me remind you to like and subscribe if you are enjoying the content. Chocolate chip cookie. Here's a deep cut just between you and me, dear viewers. If you want to have a really good and easy chocolate chip cookie, this is what you do. Go down to your local Sam's Club. Buy yourself the 4.75-pound container of Pillsbury chocolate chip cookie dough. Ball that stuff out on a series of cookie sheets and bake for about 14 minutes at 350. You're welcome. I will warn you. However, if your Sam's Club has Mrs. Fields chocolate chip cookie dough instead of the Pillsbury, keep on walking. Gumbo. I was today years old when I found out that one of our earlier entrants, okra, is used in gumbo as a thickening agent, either okra or file powder, whatever that is. But gumbo is good. It is thick, it's warm, it's packed with protein. It is a great dish from a great culinary region. The trip I took to New Orleans was the best food trip I ever took. And I mean, the food was good everywhere I went. If you haven't been, you should go. If you haven't had gumbo, you should fix that. Mission Burrito. This burrito gets its name from the Mission District, a Latino neighborhood in San Francisco. They came into fashion starting in the 1960s. It is essentially the grandfather to the many big as your head burritos that pack our culture today. Before this, burritos were simpler things from a simpler time. Thin, tightly wrapped items featuring beans and/or meat. The Mission Burrito introduced pico de gallo, guacamole, sour cream, and various salsas. And the rice, long grain, Mexican style. The American Frankensteinization of the burrito continued with the later California burrito. Suddenly, French fries entered the equation. Our beautiful American ingenuity knows no end. Banana pudding. All right, let's have a show of hands. Whose grandma makes the best banana pudding? Well, you're all wrong, because my grandma does. The stuff just tastes of childhood. My wife tells of how her family had banana pudding at picnics. She could never wait to have some separately as a dessert, so she would put it on the same paper plate as the rest of her meal. Invariably, it would mix with things like the juice from her beans. When she was an adult and had more restraint and tried it separately, she was shocked and maybe a little disappointed that it lacked that certain tang that barbecue bean juice added to the equation. Banana pudding is best served cold. Spaghetti and meatballs. In the old world, they just didn't have access to the copious amounts of meat that Italian immigrants had once they came to America. You will have a hard time finding this dish in Italy unless the shop owner is specifically targeting Americans. If you read the CNN article, it mentions that the meatballs that they did have in Italy were much smaller, with a much higher breadcrumb content. Most concerning, though, is that these meatballs would sometimes be made with fish. Fish balls, if you will. I won't, but you are more than welcome to if you want to. Eggs Benedict. I used to joke with people that the main reason I hated Canada was they messed up bacon. Well, that and Ryan Reynolds. But Eggs Benedict is good even with that blasphemous Canadian bacon. May have something to do with the forgiving nature that hollandaise sauce brings. You might even be able to put hollandaise sauce on some grits and I would eat it. No, there is just no saving that stuff. So, that is it, everyone. The 20 best American dishes according to CNN Food. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments, did you know that Saturday Night Live just had their 50th anniversary episode? Made me wonder what other shows have been on the air a ridiculous amount of time. If you would like to know more about that, check out the other video I recently posted. More to come as well. See you in the next one, friends.